Hey, what's up, guys? It's Online Money 24/7, and today we're going to be talking about how to find a profitable Shopify niche in 2018. So we're moving into that new year. Finding that Shopify niche is one of the most, if not the most important thing to define for your Shopify stores. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first step is to understand that nearly any niche can be profitable. Not that every niche is going to be the most profitable, but the fact that almost any niche can be monetized and can be quite profitable for you. It's just about how you position yourself and how you take an angle at it. So first off, let's use this as an example. I know I use bass fishing all the time, but it's a good example because we're not just talking about fishing. We're talking about bass fishing, and there's a lot of passionate people. As you can see, this dude in this picture is like, hell yeah, I just caught this awesome fish. So find something that you like. Obviously, if you don't like bass fishing, personally, I'm not really a big fan of bass fishing. It's just an easy example because I'm not just talking about fishing, it's bass fishing. So like, it's another sub niche within fishing. Like a sub niche of bass fishing is within fishing as a whole. So if you're talking about maybe deep sea fishing, that's completely different from just bass fishing. Same thing if you're talking about, let's say, trout fishing, that's a little bit different from bass fishing. So find something you like that is a good sub niche, so something a little bit deeper. So say, for example, I was talking about beauty, right? The beauty niche. Well, maybe you could just focus on acne skincare type stuff within the beauty niche, because that's a whole nother niche within that niche. Like beauty as a whole could mean you could be talking about hair products, you could be talking about makeup, you could be talking about acne. I mean, there's a lot of different things within beauty niche as well. So acne is a sub niche within the beauty niche. So just find something you like that is a very defined niche. So today's example, obviously bass fishing. Then pick a few niches and make a list, because obviously, at least when you're trying to pick out niches, you know, it's hard to know if one is going to be a good niche for you right away. So I would advise you to create a list of different niches that you're into, some stuff that you have an idea of the niche and like maybe what are some influencers within it, something that you actually like and have some competency within, because you're going to know what sells. You're going to have that extra bit of idea of what are people doing within the niche. But we'll get into that more into the next slide. But pick a few niches, make a list, because I'm going to talk about testing in a little bit here. But that's what you want to do, is just make that list, pick out some different ones that you like, because, you know, we're not defining ourselves yet, but we want to at least have a general idea of a few that we would be good with running with for the long term. So then we're going to research to see what works. And that's what we're talking about next, is how to research niches. So how exactly do you research and see if a niche is going to be good for you? Well, what you do is you pull out that little magnifying glass and you search stores like Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, and other Shopify stores within your niche, within your niches, I guess, at this point, because you haven't really picked which one you're going to do yet. But you search those stores and then see what sells. So you can go there and pick within the categories. You can go to the little category section, go down, because that's basically what the categories is on these websites, is niche selectors. So you go down on these websites and you pick the one that closely relates to yours, and then you try and find products that are within that niche and see, well, what are people selling? So if you're trying to sell spirituality type stuff, you know, you're going to clearly see that chakra bracelets are a huge seller within that niche. So there's a lot of different products you can take a look at. But if you also try and check Instagram, that could help maybe as well. But checking the actual stores such as Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, and Shopify, those are going to be your best bets to see, because people are selling the cheap products on AliExpress. You can see what sells well on AliExpress, and then people just resell it too on Amazon and eBay and their own Shopify stores. So that's the way that you can kind of get a little peek into see what is working. Then, you know, like I said, you're going to see what people are selling, seeing what actually sells within the marketplace for that niche that you're doing research on, and what is popular within the niche. So this may not necessarily just mean the products, but also the advertising. How are people advertising the products? What type of influencers are popular within the niche? You know, it's about really getting a good foothold and understanding on the niche as a whole, not just the products, but everything about the niche. How are people selling it? How are people marketing it? Because this is going to change from niche to niche. You know, someone talking about beauty is going to have some influencer smiling and holding the product, but someone talking about bass fishing, you know, they're probably just going to want to have a fish caught with the little lure. they're not going to want to just see the lure held up with no fish. Like, people want to see the result in that regard. Sometimes with beauty, people want to see the result as in someone put it all over their face. So there's a lot of different things that you want to learn about your niche as well, and like what sells, how people are advertising within it too, and how people are like, oh, this product is good. So you can see a lot of that on Instagram if you search through hashtags. Then you can test on a general store. So I actually have had a couple different comments about niche versus general store. I know this is quite a beginner thing that a lot of people are confused on, whether it's general store or niche store. And it ultimately just comes down to you. And with doing a general store, now general stores are great for beginners. It's good for beginners because it allows you to test a lot of niches at once. So you could open up a general store, put a bunch of different types of products that you test them individually. So you send people directly to that product on your website, or you have it at the top of your website. You send them to the homepage, and they're like, okay, let me just go directly to this product. Whether you're doing Facebook ads or Instagram influencers and stuff like that, they see that one product and then they go and buy it. And you can test a lot of different ones at once because you have all of them just on your store, and you're not trying to focus on one specific niche with your store. However, this is fine in the beginning as a beginner to try and find like a product or a niche that you like just based off of one product. But ultimately, long term, you want to do a specific niche store, a very niche specific store, because when you just do a general store, you're not really building long-term customers that care about your brand, which ultimately is all you have at the end of the day when you're trying to go big, and which we're going to talk about that as well in the next slide. But when you're trying to create a big store, something that's going to have long-term effect and something that's going to be a good business for you in the long term, which is something you want if you're spending all this time starting a Shopify business. You don't want to just do this for a month or a week and then, oh, I'm all tired of this. You want to build this up and actually make some good money on it. So the whole point is to build a very niche specific store, because that way you can upsell people on products. So maybe you create an ad for one product. Say, for example, you create an ad for an acne cream or something like that, right? But then you also upsell them on some sort of like little face mask thing. There's a lot of options there. When people go to your store, they might be looking to buy more than just one thing. So if you create a niche specific store, people have an opportunity to shop around, which, I had that a lot on my store when I was running it in the peak season. And yeah, it was just people would search around on the store and find other products and just buy them. I'd be like, oh, cool. They bought more than just the one thing that I was advertising. So that's something you're going to find is a long term. You want to go niche specific. But in the beginning, it's not too bad to just test around with the general store to get the hang of Shopify. It's not the worst thing in the world to do that. But ultimately, you want to move up to a very niche specific store and make everything cater to that niche. So you have to stand out. This is the next thing I want to talk about for 2018, is that there is going to be a lot of competition in 2018. Shopify is getting more and more popular on YouTube, on everything. Like, overall, it's still a very small thing because, only so many people really want to get into Shopify. But within that, there's more and more people. There's going to be more and more people competing. And the thing is, it's not just Shopify stores. It's not just people wanting to get into Shopify, watching YouTube videos like on my channel and stuff like that. It's other stores too, like other competition for stores that are moving on to the e-commerce space. So something like, for example, Macy's, right? Someone who may be ordering like something off of Macy's, that's competition that you may not be receiving if they are already ordered that product. So what I'm saying is like a lot of other stores are moving into the e-commerce space through the success of Amazon. Walmart's been doing it really successfully. Same with Target. They're building out their e-commerce space, their websites and stuff like that. And that's more competition to you as well. Not just other Shopify stores, but also some of the bigger brand stores that have been around for a while physically, but are pushing more and more online sales, because that's where the world is moving, is just online retail. So that's something to keep in mind a little bit. You're going to have to stand out and create something a little bit different, something that you can offer that the other stores can't offer. So that, and be confident on the niche you're getting into. If you get into a niche that you really don't like that much, but you're thinking, oh, it sells fine, long term, you're not going to be able to stick with it. You want to have a niche that you're very confident getting into, that you have some passion behind, because it's going to drive you to actually, follow through with the store and keep the store going. And That's what it's ultimately going to take, is if you have some passion, you're very confident on that niche you're getting into. That's what's going to keep you and help you stand out as well, because you're going to know little things about the niche that will set you apart from other people. And ultimately, there's going to be a large divide between good and bad stores, because you know, a lot of people that get into this really quick for that quick money, they don't end up succeeding. They have a bad store, and there's just a lot of people like that. And so defining yourself as a very good store is actually not incredibly difficult, but it becomes more and more difficult over time because there's more and more people wanting to get into this. So guys, if you have not actually started your Shopify stores yet, I do have a 14-day free trial linked down in the description box below. So if you want to support the channel, you go ahead and click that link. But guys, if you have not subscribed yet, what the heck are you doing? Subscribe to the dang channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified for future videos, uploads, and all of that good stuff. Leave a like, comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns. But anyway, guys, that's all for today's video. So I will see you in the next one. Peace out.